Children, and welcome to class 11th mathematics class. The today's topic is trigonometry, the topic which you are quite familiar with because you've done it in class 9 and 10th. The trigonometry, tri means 3, gono means angle, metry means measurement. Measurement of 3 angles of triangles and problem related to it is the first and basic approach of trigonometry, and this approach you have used in class 10th. But however, in class 11th and 12th, you shall be using the second approach, that is the approach of unit circle, in which we shall be using radian measure to define the trigonometrical function in terms of real numbers. And what is radian measure, you will come to know as the class proceeds. Now, before I take up this topic in detail, let me tell you one thing, children. Till class 10, you have done so many units of mathematics, but now the foundation of the mathematics is going to be your algebra and your calculation skills. So the algebra and the calculation skills forms the base of the mathematics hereafter. And you can judge yourself how well and good you are at algebra and your calculation skills. Because all the algebra topics that you have done up to class 10 are significantly going to be used hereafter to reach to the higher level. After algebra, you have trigonometry. Now, trigonometry is a very vast and wide topic where you will going to come across many new concepts and innumerable formulas. So you have to learn them and also learn the application of these formulas. And once you become better in trigonometry with the help of algebra and calculation skills, then only you can reach to the top of the mathematics, that is the calculus. So children, gear up and start revising those topics of algebra which you have never done so effectively in class up to 10th. Now, moving on to the basic concepts of trigonometry now. We begin with the first concept, that is, what is an angle? What is an angle? And can angle be negative? Can an angle be negative? Can an angle be negative? Now, you know you have done a lot of constructions in up to class 10. You know the angle is formed when a ray rotates about a fixed point. So, when a ray OA starting from its initial position OA rotates about a fixed point O and reaches its final position B, then we say that angle AOB is being formed. Where OA, the initial position, is known as the initial side of the angle, whereas the final position OB is called the terminal side of the angle. And the point O about which the ray rotates is called its vertex. And the angle AOB, that is the amount of measurement done to reach the final or the terminal side from the initial side, is the measure of the angle, which normally we represent by theta. The amount of rotation done to reach terminal side from the initial side is the measure of the angle, which we normally represent by theta. Children, now the next is, can angle be negative? See, the direction of rotation of the ray OA to form an angle can be anti-clockwise or clockwise. Normally, up to class 10, we had been constructing angle while drawing the ray moving anti-clockwise. So when the anti-clockwise movement of the ray OA takes place to reach to its terminal side OB, then angle is represented as to be positive angle. However, when the ray OA rotates clockwise to reach its terminal position OB, then the measurement of angle is negative. So negative here represents the direction of rotation of ray, which is clockwise, and positive rotation of ray is the anti-clockwise. Positive rotation, that is the anti-clockwise rotation, is the positive angle. Now the next part, this part 2 that we have to understand, is the quadrant in which the angle lies. Now you know, if you divide the plane of paper by drawing horizontal and vertical line into 4 equal parts. We get 4 quadrants, where this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third, and this is the fourth quadrant. Angle is said to lie in a particular quadrant when its terminal side lies in the same quadrant. Wherever the terminal side of the angle lies, that particular quadrant is the quadrant in which the angle lies. For example, if we take the angle to be 135 degree, we know that since angle is positive, the rotation will be anti-clockwise starting from its initial side. So let OA be the initial side. It rotates to get 135 degree. It means it rotates first 90 degree and another 45 degree to reach to the angle 135 with terminal position OB. Terminal position or terminal side OB. Now you can see that the terminal side is lying in the second quadrant. So this angle lies in which quadrant? The second quadrant. However, if theta, the angle to be represented as minus 135 degree, is it going to lie in the same quadrant? No, because the negative means the measurement angle will now be rotation of the ray will be clockwise. So when the ray starts rotating clockwise from initial side OA, it turns 90 degree and then it turns another 45 degree and reaches here in the third quadrant. So this is the terminal position or terminal side of the angle minus 135 degree, and this means it lies in which quadrant? The third quadrant. Okay children, so this lies the quadrant. Now the next is to know the definition of coterminal angles. What are coterminal angles? The definition of the coterminal angle is that two angles are said to be coterminals when they have same position of terminal side and initial side. When they have same position of terminal side and the initial side. For example, just now we have drawn one angle that is 135 degree. This is 135 degree. We know that this is positive 135 degree. Now it has the initial position or initial side OA and terminal side OB. Now can you tell me another angle which will have the same initial side OA and the terminal side OB? Yes, we can say, because here the angle has been rotated with positive direction. Now if we rotate to reach to the same terminal side from the rotating clockwise starting from OA, then you can see that it is 180 and another plus 45 to reach up to here. So the coterminal angles to plus 135 will be nothing but minus 225 degree. Okay, because this is 180 plus 45, it makes it 225. Similarly, is it only one angle which is coterminal to 135? No, there are unlimited angles which will be coterminal to 135. For example, now if we rotate clockwise, now look here, if I rotate anti-clockwise now, one complete rotation 360 degree plus 90 degree, okay, and then another 45 degree. If I rotate, I reach up to here. That means you have 135 degree will be equals to 180 plus 90 plus 45. That means you can see that 270 plus 45, 270 plus 45 degree, that will give it to you 310 degree, 335, 315 degree. 315 degree is another coterminal angle to 135, because 315 will have same the initial side as OA and the terminal side will be OB. So these are definitions of coterminal angles. Next comes the measurement of angles. Next is the measurement of angles. Children, we have two systems of measurement of angles. The one is the old system that you have been using up to class 10, that is known as the sexagesimal system or degree measure. This is the British system of measuring angles in degree, minutes and seconds. If you divide a circle into 360 equal parts, if you divide a circle into 360 equal parts, then each part of the circle will represent 1 degree. So 1 degree is 1 upon 360 part of a circle. 1 degree is 1 upon 360 degree, 1 upon 360 part of a circle. And if you divide each part, that is 1 degree, into 60 equal parts, if I divide this into 60 equal parts, then we get 1 minute. So 1 minute is equals to 1/60th part of a degree. And similarly, 1 second is 1/60th part of a minute. That means 1 degree is equals to 60 minutes. 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. And this system of measurement of angle has been used by us up to class 10th. Now moving on to the second system, which is known as the circular measure and radian circular system and radian measure, which we shall be using from hereafter in doing trigonometry. Because hereafter the angle will not be measured in degree, minutes and seconds. In doing trigonometry, it will be measured in this system, which is known as the circular system. Circular system or radian measure. Children, in this, the angle is measured in radians. Now, what is 1 radian? 1 radian is defined as this, 1 to the power c, right? This is 1 radian. How do we define 1 radian? Let us consider a circle with center O and radius r. This is center O and this is radius r, with A as a point on circumference. Now take an arc AB having length is equals to radius. Then the angle subtended by an arc whose length is equals to radius at the center, that angle is 1 radian. So 1 radian is defined as the angle subtended by an arc whose length is equals to the radius of the circle. Okay? The property of the radian is, the first theorem says, the first theorem, theorem 1, I can say that, theorem 1. Theorem 1 says, radian is a constant. Radian is a constant quantity or constant. How to get this? How to show that radian is a constant? For this, children, we shall be using geometry as well. Let's move on. Let us take a circle with center O and radius r. Let us take a circle having center O and radius r. Let's take an arc AB. Let us take an arc AB equals to the radius. Then the angle subtended by the arc AB in the center would be 1 radian as per the definition. This will be equals to what? 1 radian as per the definition. Now let us extend OA to meet the circle at point C. Now here the arc AB. What is the length of this arc AB? It is a semicircular arc. So length of arc AB is pi r. Now, what is the angle? What is the angle subtended by angle AOB? AOB angle subtended is 1 radian, whereas the angle AOC is nothing but 2 into 90 degree, right angle. Now, you are quite familiar with the theorem of geometry that the ratio of the angles subtended at the center are proportional to the length of arcs subtending them. I repeat, the ratio of the angle subtended at the centers are proportional to the ratio of arc length subtending them. That is, the ratio of angle AOB to angle AOC will be equals to the length of arc. Which arc subtends angle AOB? Is arc AB upon arc AC. Now substitute the values here. We find angle AOB is 1 radian. So 1 radian upon 2 into 90 is equals to r upon pi r. We say r cancels here, so we find that 1 radian turns out to be 2 into 90 degree upon pi, and it is both are constant. So the ratio of the two constant will give you another constant. So radian is a constant quantity. The second theorem now, children. The second theorem is to find out the length of arc in terms of radian. In a circle of radius r, the arc length L subtends an angle theta radian, then this theta will be ratio of L and R. Theta will be given by L upon R. That is, in a circle of radius R, if an arc of length L, subtends an angle theta radians, this angle is in radian, then this theta, the already theta here is actually is in radian, is ratio of L upon R. How to prove this now? You can take a circle of radius, another circle of radius R with center O. Okay, now and mark a point B on the circumference such that the arc length AB is equals to L and the angle AOB is equals to theta radians. Angle AOB is equals to theta radians. Now let us mark a point C on AB such that the arc AC is equals to radius of the circle, so that the angle AOC turns out to be how much? 1 radian as per the definition. So let us mark and see this angle turns out to be 1 radian. Now use the same property. Ratio of the angle subtended the centers proportional to length of arc subtending them. So we have angle AOB upon angle AOC is equals to arc length AB upon arc length AC, and that is in fact you have L, this is R, and this is in nothing but theta radians, and this is 1 radian. So we find that theta turns out to be L upon R. Children, hereafter this theta which we talk about will measure in circular system, that is radian measure. Okay. Now moving on to one more concept of conversion of radians to degree and degree to radians. How we convert angles given in radians to the old system of it into degree, and if angles are given in degree, how to convert it to new system, that is the circular system in radians. Now you already know, children, radian and degree. You are studying relationship. You know that 2 pi radians is nothing but 360 degree. That is, pi radian is equals to 180 degree. So if you want to change an angle given in radian to degree, the rule is to multiply it by 180 by pi. You can see that 1 radian will be 180 upon pi. Multiply by 180 upon pi. And if you are changing a degree to radians, the rule is to multiply it by pi upon 180 and use pi as 22 by 7. Okay, children, that's all about the concepts of the trigonometry of this chapter. Now in the next video we shall be doing problems related to this topic.